Good Monday afternoon, everybody. Steve Kincaid with Deputy Chief Tyler Chandler and also Rich Frankich. How you guys doing this Monday afternoon?
Hey, doing all right. I'm surprised we made it to alive today with as busy as we were with our schedules this afternoon. But we have something important to talk about, don't we?
Yeah, we do. How are you doing though first, Rich? You didn't answer.
Doing good,
Doing
thank you.
good, good. Well, we are doing a community connection on a Monday for a very important reason, and that's because we do have some severe weather that is forecasted for tomorrow. And Deputy Chief,
Mhm.
you want to go through that? What is expected? What we are preparing for tomorrow?
Yeah, for sure. So anytime there is a enhanced risk of severe weather for most communities across the nation, the Weather Service, the National Weather Service, does special briefings for government officials and different people in infrastructure, your schools, whatever it may be, just to give us a little bit of detail on what's happening. And so this is just one of the images that was shared with us this morning. But we're going to be in the enhanced area for severe storm. So what we are going to expect here in our community is scattered storms will start to develop ahead of a cold front that's supposed to move through, and then they'll increase in coverage and also strength during the late morning and then early afternoon, potentially into the evening, with the greatest severe risk for all of Middle Tennessee between 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. So we're in Wilson County, which is kind of in the middle of Middle Tennessee, so that timing can vary from the west to the east as the storm system progresses through the state. This is just one of those storm systems that is moving through that you need to be mindful of, need to be connected to a reliable weather source about. One that we felt it was important, right, to jump on this live update. So, Sammy, I'm glad you reminded me today that, hey, we probably need to talk to our community a little bit about what we could expect. So, damaging wind gust over 60 miles an hour with some hail up to 1.5 inches. That is ping pong ball sized, and a few tornadoes with some long track tornadoes possible. And Rich is going to talk about in a minute about what to do or actions you can do to keep yourself safe. Here's the different probabilities on your screen for severe wind. We're in a hatched area, so that means if we do have the severe winds, it could be significant, up to 74 miles per hour wind gusts. That's extremely uh, high and could be damaging. We're also in the probability of severe hail greater than an inch, and also in a hatched area for the probability of tornado at any strength. But with the hatched area, it could be a significant tornado, and that is a EF2 to an EF5 scale on the tornado, and they could be longer track, just larger in general. So we just want you to be mindful tomorrow, early, in the afternoon, late morning time frame, up into the evening. They're saying that 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll know more in the morning on the potential timing and get that honed down a little better. But we've experienced tornadoes in our community, and it's always better for people when you are prepared, when you know you have a reliable weather warning source, and when you understand what a watch or warning means. And Rich, I think you have the details on that, and you'll like
I
Sam
do.
this if you haven't had lunch yet. Hopefully, you had lunch.
Yeah, and this is actually one of my favorite graphics. I ran across this last storm season, and a lot of people tease me about this graphic, but it's to me it just helps me always remember what's the difference between a watch and a warning, and it helps kind of put a lot of folks at ease too, to kind of make fun of it a little bit, right? Because we're not doing this to scare anybody by any means. We're just wanting folks to be weather aware, just to be prepared, and just be in their safe place when the time happens, right? So, the big difference between a watch and a warning. The watch just means that the ingredients are there to make your tacos. It means you've got everything in place and it could happen. So you just know everything is there. When the warnings hit, hey, we're having those tacos. It's coming. It's going to happen. So you need to get in your safe place. When they issue those warnings, it's time for those tacos. So whether it's a thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning or whatever the warning may be in the wintertime, hopefully we don't get the severe snow warnings, but I might be happy if we did. But
Mhm.
I can just hear my phone getting ready to blow up after that one.
Probably
Uh,
no.
Don't
But
even speak that into existence.
But yeah, so watches and warnings, that's kind of the big difference. Watches mean the ingredients are there, just be weather aware. The warnings mean it's gonna happen, it's coming. So if they issue the warnings, have everything ready to go, get in that safe place and be prepared. Okay. So that's the big difference. And know where to go, whether it's a watch or a warning, especially if it's a warning, know where to go. Whatever structure you're in, kind of think of that structure kind of like an onion, right? Peel the layers. So you want to be in the middle, in the center, and the bottom of that layer, of that structure, of that, peeling that onion away. So center, bottom is the best place to go. If you can get to a basement of a structure or centermost point of that structure, hallway or bathroom that's farthest away from the exterior walls and windows. That's kind of the best place to be inside of a structure. You always want to stay away from being outside during tornadoes. If you have a basement room, quickly move to that basement room. Make sure you grab your emergency kit if you have one already put together ahead of time. When you hear that watch and warning coming, that's not the time to get that emergency kit together. It's best to have it done ahead of time. And of course, always stay tuned, as Deputy Chief already alluded to, always stay tuned to whatever means you have available for getting that information about the watches and warnings, whether it's your local weather alerts from your cell phones, for your wireless emergency alerts, your NOAA weather radio, which is a fantastic source, your internet, your local TV and radio, and of course our MJ alert system. Deputy Chief can throw a graphic up there about the MJ alert here in a minute. The MJ alert system is a fantastic program. Just text MJ to 67283 and it automatically subscribes you to it. And we do our best to keep that stuff out there and fresh and updated when you need it. Okay. It's a really great program. And of course, we also want to touch on, if you happen to have a storm shelter in your home and you haven't already registered with us, my email's right there. Please feel free to shoot me an email and let me know about your storm shelter, just so we can get it in our system. The biggest benefit to that is hopefully we never have to use it. But if we ever have to, we know where your storm shelter is, what it's constructed of, where in the home it's located, and how many people and fur babies we have to look for. Mm-hmm. So that way it just keeps us more aware of what we need to do if we ever have to look for you.
Yeah, good stuff. Can you mention, go back to your other slide with warnings. You see the way to get warnings. There we go. How outdoor weather warning sirens is on there. Anytime, they go off for a reason, we always see the comments and the complaints about how I couldn't hear that warning siren inside my home. So that leads us to then try to educate our community about those warning sirens, which are managed by the Wilson County Emergency Management Agency, and they're spread throughout our community. But they're not meant or designed to be heard indoors. Outdoor weather warning sirens, wherever you are only engineered to be heard outside, and they're only meant to warn people who are outside, like at sports facilities, parks, shopping areas, to then that siren goes off and then to go indoors. They are not meant to be heard indoors to wake you up for any given warning that goes off. So that's why you want to have a source of warning. Do not rely on those warning sirens. They're only for outdoors. So a NOAA weather warning all hazard radio is really reliable. You plug it in and it sounds off all these different alarms when warnings are coming through. You now have the wireless emergency alerts on your phone if you have not disabled them. There's also local TV and radio and other ways to get warnings. But this storm tomorrow, with multiple rounds throughout the day, likely is going to come through when most people are awake. Where it really concerns me more is when it comes through at night when people are asleep and they never know the tornado's coming. But we always just want to talk preparedness. Again, we've experienced this and our community was very resilient and got through it quickly. But we feel that's because we get on here and try to educate our community as best as we can about severe storms, because they do threaten us ever so often, and you just have to be prepared. And the threats tomorrow, are there, but they could, hit anywhere in Middle Tennessee, and everyone just needs to be prepared, because the forecasters are weather service professionals. They have no idea exactly where it's going to go, and they can't tell us. They can just give us their best estimate based off different models and scientific data that they have related to the weather conditions. But they at least give us an idea that they know it's going to happen somewhere. They just don't know exactly where it will happen.
Yeah, no, I think that was so important, though. I'm glad that you hit again on that outdoor sirens, because I know the community connection last week, that was something a lot of people were talking about that
Mhm.
they didn't realize. And growing up in Willoughby Station, I never realized it because we could hear it in our house. But I guess that was just luck. You shouldn't rely on that. You really shouldn't. You should have those radios. And I know I have a radio now, and it costs maybe 15, $20. I
Right.
got mine off of Amazon, but you can,
Mhm.
I've seen them at Walmart, Target. You can get them a lot of different places, and they aren't too costly to get those radios, and they are pretty loud. And they also, mine has a really nice flashlight on the side, so in case if you needed that flashlight,
Yeah.
in case of an emergency, if power went out or what may be, it's nice to have that light too.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. And a lot of weather radios have where you can put battery backups in it. So just make sure you have a fresh set of batteries in there. And most of them just kind of stay plugged in, but they have a battery source if we lose power in the area. So you still get those warnings. Of course, there's MJ alert that you see here, and obviously ours are going to be very detailed about the approaching storm that is happening. But we do send a lot of alerts out on MJ alert, but we do that for a reason. Is we want to provide our community members with detailed information about anything that's happening in our community that could affect you in some way, some form. So just know that we use it to keep you aware about stuff that happens. And but we simply like to have a good relationship, and with any good relationship, you have to have good communication. And I think most people in any community would want their emergency services, like police or fire, talking to them when bad things are happening, and that's what we're going to do our best to do. But we're also on Twitter, Facebook, social media. We do these updates. If we were to have any impacts tomorrow, we'll of course give you an update and let you know about what's happening. Sammy, I'm sure, will be jumping on with different pictures and images and messaging and whatever live videos or reels that we post, she can put out there just to paint that picture of what we're dealing with in the community. But knock on wood, hopefully we don't have anything. Again, this is just a message of preparedness to our community members that severe weather is forecasted tomorrow in an enhanced area, and we could see some isolated tornadoes somewhere around us. We just hope that if that does happen, there's no serious injuries or deaths or anything like that, or serious damage. But we can hope all day long, but it doesn't prevent it, right? We just got to
Right.
be prepared to limit the impacts that we have.
I saw Shane on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. He says this an April Fool's prank. It is April Fool's today, but this is not an April Fool's prank. This is for sure. We want to make sure everyone is prepared. So I just wanted to clarify that because I saw that comment come in.
Sure. Yeah, I see it there too. But different comments, a lot of thank yous for the updates, good tips by different people, fresh backup batteries from Darlene. Leslie wanted us to repeat the MJ alert info, which we did. And then Brittany again with warning means now, and having a watch means you have some time. So absolutely, just like the taco image that Rich had.
We went to Cinco last week, but I'm ready to go again.
Right, ready to go again. I had an Italian beef sandwich today for lunch, but it's a Monday, so I'll probably be at Mexican tonight, and I may have tacos. We'll see. I don't want tacos tomorrow, right? I don't want the rich version of tacos tomorrow.
Right.
But if you have questions, feel free, type those in the comments, and we'll try to look at them as best as we can. But when severe weather is approaching or impacting, you have all of your leadership and emergency services in this city monitoring what's occurring. If it's overnight, we're not asleep, we're awake. We have our uniform on to be ready to go at a moment's notice to begin to mitigate the incident, whatever it may be that's occurring in this community. We all deeply care about everyone in the city of Mount Juliet, and we like to approach it in a way where we want to be the best to serve you is the best way that we can. And so if I was an everyday citizen sitting at my home and not in emergency services, I would hope their police department or fire department would be there for me and serve me as best as possible. And so that's the approach I always take with leading and serving a community. Is I just try to be what I would want everyone expect of others, right? And we're going to do our best there. So questions here about when a main line will hit us, and that hasn't been mentioned yet. They gave us a time frame of 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. My guess is as the forecast and models come to more agreements in the morning or even later this evening, they'll come up with some better timing for us, and we'll share that. The National Weather Service has a great Facebook page as well, where they share a lot of good information. And all you have to do is just go up to Facebook and search NWS Nashville or National Weather Service Nashville, and you can get their local page. And their office is just up in Old Hickory. They're barely outside of our city limits. So many of them travel through and spend time in Mount Juliet. And we're just grateful for their service. Says that they have, and keeping us informed and aware when bad things are happening with the weather.
Their Twitter is incredible.
Yeah, they do a great job up there with keeping folks informed. It's just trying to get people connected, to those sources to get the information. But if you're not friends with the National Weather Service on Facebook, go be friends with them. And they put a lot of good stuff out. They keep it entertaining too. Keep it entertaining. So.
Yeah, most mornings they do some really good posts to wake people up. It's pretty funny.
I'm just not that creative. That's why we got Sammy now. So more creative brain.
So you can focus on your police duties.
Yes, focus on being the deputy chief, right?
Yep.
That's it. We have a lot of good going for us.
Absolutely.
Well, cool. Who wants to close it out?
Sammy.
All right.
Sammy. All right.
Well, I appreciate all of you joining me and Deputy Chief and Rich today, just so that we can all stay a little bit more prepared together, and hopefully everyone stays safe, and hopefully we're preparing for nothing, that everything stays A-okay tomorrow. But again, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you later in the week.
All right. See you, everyone.